Can you hear me, Fatima?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do right now is I want to again welcome you all here and thank you so much for your patience. But we will work it out and get it together, particularly for the next time, for sure. This is the meet and greet for the nitty gritty. And it is an event that I have been so excited about. Not only just an event, but the actual recording that Sister Fati has put together for us, as well as the upcoming class that we are going to be putting together for this nitty gritty. And a bit of an introduction to this. Some of you probably have read the email and the post that I put out introducing the nitty gritty. But I met Sister Fati at Axum Culture, and I was just so pleased and so astounded by her wisdom and knowledge and her personable mannerisms that I said, this is somebody that I really, really, really want the world to know because she is able to handle three sides, both the Caribbean, the American, the diaspora, the full diaspora, including America, as well as the African side. So she really and truly does act as a bridge through all the various cultures, and she has a personal understanding and knowledge of all of them, having lived in a variety of places. And so her being able to share her wisdom and knowledge with the sisters that are truly interested in gaining some insight into African culture and in particular the feminine aspect of African culture, of family, of marriage, and personal hygiene care. I mean, the list goes on and on. And so, having said that, one of the things that I want to point out before I get her to speak a little bit with us is the fact that many of us are very much interested in gaining our African culture and in the Sankofa aspect of life, meaning reaching back to get some of the things that we feel that we have lost. And one of the treasures in being able to speak with Sister Fati is and learn from her and listen to her recordings is the fact that though many of us have read various aspects about African culture from various books, and maybe we took some courses in college, maybe we met some people, but it is actually very difficult to translate those written pieces of knowledge into everyday life. And it's also very difficult to come to an understanding of when we look at the culture as a whole, and I don't mean to, homogenize the African culture because there are just so many different peoples, so many different countries, so many different tribes, and so there are a lot, but there is one thing that is true for all of them, which is the ability of the social aspects, the things that we are missing here, that we feel that we are missing in our own upbringing, in our own culture. And so her being able to share with us these particular aspects, but not only just the particular fact of it, but how it actually relates to our life and how the act of incorporating those different acts, those different parts of culture, how it brings value to our life. And that's the thing that many of us have missed. But without further ado, I do want to introduce Sister Fatima Ndiaye. And Sister, can you still hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Do you hear me though?
Yeah, I hear you. Give thanks. We're all
Okay,
excited
cool.
to hear. So, because I could be very simplistic and just read through your bio, but I want you to share with us yourself, your spoken bio, so to speak, and give us a little bit of history about yourself, if you can.
Okay, let's see. People always ask me, like, what's your nationality? And when people ask me what's my nationality, I I always hesitate because I'm never sure exactly how to answer the question. Um, I'm Guyanese, yes. Um, on one side, my family is going back to northern Senegal in Africa, West Africa. I spent time in Europe. I spent a lot of time in New York. I'm here in Atlanta, and I feel like I'm in the middle of like um, a super highway in a way of looking at it because I have the Caribbean point of view, I have the American point of view, I have the African point of view, and I even have the European point of view, from being around them too. So within that kind of situation, you have different conversations and you hear different comments within that group. When I'm around Caribbean people, I hear what Caribbean people have to say about Africans and Americans. When I'm around Africans, I hear what they have to say about Americans and Caribbean. When I'm around American, I hear what they think about Africans and Caribbean. So I'm just saying to myself, okay. But these groups of people, they don't often mix. We mix about we mix about certain issues like social injustice. We mix about stuff like, I don't know, Nicki Minaj, Trinidad James, but we don't talk about like grassroots stuff that's going to really affect the family and affect the society, in the long run. But we just see each other in passing and we talk amongst ourselves, but the real discourse that we're supposed to have, I don't see that happening. So I'm trying to get everybody onto the same page. Basically, is what I'm trying to do.
Okay, give thanks, give thanks. And what before I go in deep, I wanted to know, what would you like to share with us about the Nitty Gritty series?
Okay, see, there's most of the issues, well, actually, all the issues in the Nitty Gritty series are dealing with things that women are supposed to do in their home. And when I say in their home, we do a lot of stuff in the home. We cook in the home, we clean the home, we do all that kind of stuff. But there are things that women are supposed to do that don't really get addressed, particularly in this country. There are things that women home do automatically because they saw their mothers do it, their grandmothers do it. Um, Here, we might do it a little bit on the surface, but it's not given the supposed to have. Nobody ever said, okay, are important. These things are the key to, keeping your marriage good or keeping your house, in good condition or keeping your children in the right way. Nobody ever says, okay, this is it right here. So you might do it, a a nonchalant way without knowing, okay, let me pay some more attention to this thing, because this is what is the foundation of our culture. Nobody teaches that here. Either you get it or you don't get it, and most people, from what I can see, they don't get it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, did you want to give us a short preview of a couple of the topics?
Okay, so one thing that I think is important is how you would integrate yourself in society. And when I say society again, that's a very broad term because we know that Africa is very big. But what I like to get is, let's say you're trying to travel home. A lot of women here, they aspire to go home to Africa, whether on vacation or on a permanent basis. They want to go home. They don't want to stay here. They want to go back to their roots, as people say. So one of the topics that I'm going to be discussing in the class is how do you integrate into society home? because we know about the basic things. We know about the basic greeting, how to talk to people and that. But there's a lot of unspoken things that you want to know before you get there to make your transition easier. Because there's a lot of things that when you go home, you might not know, and nobody's gonna tell you. And
Mm-hmm.
in their mind, they're gonna put you in a certain category, and they'll smile and everything. Everything is fantastic. They welcome you, but in there, they're not really considering you as an African person, which I think is an issue here, especially amongst African American people wanting to be accepted. So you can go over there, you can move there, and everything else, but you'll still be considered like somebody who's visiting, or sorry to say, you'll be considered like a foreigner still, an American still, because of the little things that's missing in your interaction with people. So this is a main issue, a main topic that's going to be addressed is how you interact. Because the way people interact here and the way that people interact home are the same. It's almost a polarity of how people
Mm-hmm.
function with each other. So you don't want to go there and not fit in after going through all your trouble and spending all your money, and like you go there and then your bubble is burst because of something small that you didn't know.
Right. Right. I hear you. And then what about within the home? Because one of the things I've been calling um, the nitty gritty is an African, like the home economics course from an African
Okay,
perspective.
very
Back in the day, we used to have those old home economic classes where they teach you cooking and sewing and all of these little, aspects. And that was back in the 80s, of course. I don't even know if they still have it nowadays, but to a certain degree, the various things that you've been explaining and showing and sharing in your audios have
okay,
quite a bit to do
okay,
with the home and how to carry yourself
okay,
within the home. You know what? And I did want to ask you because I know you went through very specific topics that relate to the home. But
okay.
share with us from your perspective, how do you see the home? What does home mean to you? Meaning a person's domicile, but if you can put it in a
Okay.
nutshell, how do you view the home and how is that different from how we, in the West may be viewing the home itself?
Okay, you know what? The home, I know people say like your home is your sanctuary, and without
Mm-hmm.
trying to sound cliche or something, the home is really that. We go out and we work, but the purpose of us going out to work is to maintain your home. Here people work and they put so much energy into the workplace. They come home, the home is just a place to, I guess, to basically change your clothes, um, you know, eat something, take a shower,
Mm-hmm.
and run back out.
Right.
The home is supposed to be where you cultivate yourself and your family, and especially your couple. When I say couple, I mean your marriage. So we can't spend too much time outside because you can't be two places at the same time. The home is how you're able to assess, what is the situation or what is the status of the different relationships you have between yourself and your husband, yourself and your children, and the relationship you have with yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're always out trying to look about things outside on the street, the home is neglected. I was a very, I was a workaholic. I was working, working with people, I have children. So very recently I decided, you know what? I have to come back home. Somebody has to be the person who's holding down inside the house. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
has to be there to make sure that when the husband comes home and when the children comes home, their food is there. Somebody has to make sure that when husband is coming home, the house is smelling good.
Mhm.
When you come in the house, it's supposed to be like um, a mini vacation every time you come home.
Mm.
When you come home, you're supposed to leave the stress outside. So a lot of what is lost in this country is this feeling of coming home to that vacation. When you come home, it's almost a continuation of the same stress and work that you're having outside because you
Right.
bring it home with you.
Right.
And because women here work, I mean, women in Africa too, they work, but there's a difference. Women here, when they work outside, they pretty much forget like what their role is in the house. So you can see the woman and the man are both working, and then the man comes home. He'll find himself doing all the housework, cleaning the bathroom, and
Mhm.
the woman can be the one who's working more outside, and the husband is end up doing the laundry and everything else. Whereas, realistically speaking, that's not the way it's supposed to work. And some people can say, okay, this is a shortic way of looking at things, but it doesn't have anything to do with that. In Africa, everybody in the family and in the community and then in the larger society, they know what their roles are without people feeling offended like, you're trying to keep me in the house. The
Mhm.
house is fantastic. The house is a wonderful place to be. Women home, really, most of the women, they work because they don't have a choice. If their husband is not making enough money or they
Mm.
don't have a husband, you have to eat. But the woman's pleasure is to know that the husband is working and that she can stay home and cook and take care of the house, take care of the children. So when we talk about the woman in the house, I don't want people to have this idea of somebody's trying to like take away their freedom. People always start screaming about their freedom here. No, the freedom a woman should enjoy, from an African woman's perspective, is maintain the home. If the home is not in good condition, nothing else is going to work. If your home situation is not good, the marriage is probably not tight like how it's supposed to be too. If the husband come home and the food is not ready, and he's going out and get Pizza Hut or McDonald's,
Mhm.
children are seeing about themselves. It's chaos.
Mhm.
And this chaos eventually is going to affect the community because everything starts, from the family unit.
Right.
So if the family unit is broken down, it's going to be having a rippling effect outward into the society. Yeah. So the issues in this class dealing with the home are key issues that women have to cultivate. And
Mhm.
that's what our ancestors did. The women have a way how we cook the food and how we prepare the food and how we encourage the family for everyone to eat communally. Here people don't eat communally. Everybody has their bowl and everyone sits in the corner and they eat. The
Mhm.
way how we keep the family together is everybody eating from one plate so that we keep the family tie strong and we able to observe our children and how they're interacting. That's how we're able to correct our children, is watching
Mhm.
them how they eat. Yeah, so
Mhm.
there's these type of issues.
Absolutely. Ooh, give thanks. Well, I want to just remind everyone about the topics that we have. One of them in the I'm sorry, the audio that we do offer. The first topic that Fati speaks on is eating the African way. And then the second topic is welcoming our husbands home. And the third topic is wear and care of the booty. And number four is the unmentionables, which has to do with learning how to take care of your, your personal articles of clothing, like your panties, bras, slips, etc. Number
Can I
five.
interject?
I'm sorry.
Can I interject on that one real quick?
Yes. Yes, please do.
Okay. Also, when we're talking about the unmentionable,
Uh huh.
it goes even. You hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it goes beyond even washing of underwear and stuff like that. It even deals with the way how women discuss things. when men are there and men are not there. It's also talking about what is appropriate in terms of um, how we relate to each other in mixed company.
Mm-hmm.
This is also under the topic of unmentionable. But some things are unmentionable, you
Uh-huh.
know,
Okay.
depending on the environment. Yeah.
True.
So you can go on. The next thing we talk about
Number five
is boarding
is
the baby.
boarding your baby. Number 6 is bedroom jewelry. And number
Yes.
7 is body adornment. And I don't want to give too much away because I know sometimes it's hard to just gloss over these subjects because they are just each of them deserves a book in and of itself. But I just wanted to give you all the outline for what's included in this, the nitty gritty lecture series. And we do have quite a bit more coming up. I know Fati is working on a second recording also, um,
Yes.
which is going to. You want to tell us a little bit about what you want to include in your second recording?
Yes. One of the main topics of the recording is male and female interaction. I want to talk about the male and female interaction. Um, I'm basically talking about how men and women interact with each other. Meaning, for example, in this country, the way how a man approaches
Mm-hmm.
and the way she responds is not the same as how women move and how men do move. I want women to change their perspective and change the way they respond to men here in this country. A lot of times women complain that they don't get the respect that they want and they
Mm.
don't get treated the way they deserve to be treated. And I concur with that. If they want to change the way that they're treated, they also have to change the way they respond. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a protocol or there's a type of etiquette that is observed on the continent that I don't see here too much, except within certain circles.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, that's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
good.
one of the main topics.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's a
Ooh, I'm
lot.
looking forward to
That
that.
one is a lot.
Yes, it sounds like a lot. But you know what? It's definitely necessary and we all big girls here. We have to be able to hear some of these things without taking it personal. Because, you really go in and you go in deep. And sometimes when we're looking at ourselves and reflecting on what we want for ourselves, it's really critical to listen with an open ear, you know. Um, One of the things I wanted to do, I don't know if anyone has any comment or question that they wanted to add. Does um, does anyone have any? Whoops! I think I clicked on you, Divine. Um, does anyone
Do
have
you
any
still see me?
questions or comment?
Do you still see me? 'Cause I don't see you.
I see you. I
Okay, cool.
clicked out of it, but I still see you.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
Yes, can you hear?
I
This
can
is
hear you.
Divine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Peace, Fati. How are you?
Good, how you doing? I'm so sorry you this long wait. It's been taking
Oh, that's
at
okay.
all.
I wanted to let you know from the first presentation you did on eating the African way, me and
Yes,
my family have started to eat together, and we have
fantastic.
seen a big difference.
Alhamdulillah. I'm very happy to hear that.
I have two, and I'm expecting another child on the way. I have six, and my youngest is 3,
Uh-huh.
and we all loves it. He loves it. My oldest is starting to eat more vegetables.
Very
I
good.
see that my youngest is kind of greedy. She reaches over,
You see?
but we really like it. I mean, we've implemented that in our household. So I want to say thank you for that.
No, no thanks needed. And aren't you going to save money now? Can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can,
Can you hear me? You're gonna save money.
Yes.
You're gonna save money and you're gonna save time.
Mhm.
Because
That's right.
the amount of money that you spend to give everybody food on their own plate is more than the money you spend for just everyone to eat at the same time. And you still have food left over, even though you're sharing from one plate.
That's true.
You see? And then you only have one plate to wash.
That's true, and that has helped us.
I know what I'm saying. If you have to stand and wash a sink full of 4 and 5 dishes, and then the cup and the spoon and all of this stuff, you tired. You have now one plate to wash, and the spoons and the glass, and you finish. And you don't have to worry about, okay, he has more than me, and who gets the piece of chicken and all of this stuff. It's all the same food.
Mhm.
And it's giving you a
Mhm.
chance. It gives you a chance for everyone to have time to sit down at the same time. The other way, everybody take their bowl, and this person go in the dining room, another person go on the front porch, somebody else go upstairs, and if they don't want food and they put it in the garbage, you never know. But if you're eating together, you see exactly what's going on with everybody.
That's true.
So what I want you to do is to pass that on to people that you know. People who you know are open and have sense. Pass it to them. You'll start doing it too.
Yes, ma'am.
It's
mhm.
a good way. And you know what you should do? You should invite like friends over to your home and invite them to eat with you. And if they act like they can't eat with you, you have to ask them what's the problem with that.
Mhm.
If cool, if we cool like we thought we were cool, how come you cannot eat from this plate with me? Is there something wrong? Did I do you something last year or whenever? Let's talk about that. Because obviously there's a vibe.
Mhm.
So that's how you know when there's a vibe. I yield. Thank you.
Is there any room for any more comments or
It's a
questions?
good way to. Huh?
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I did have
Yeah, I hear you.
okay, I wanted to, well, not so much as ask a question, but to make a comment that might lead into another question for someone else. I noticed that with
Okay.
me being Muslim, I've had some African men that I know who are
Uh-huh.
not Muslim who will make statements that they only wanted to deal with Muslim women because they understood their culture. And so in listening to you, I see where they're coming from because we already make a habit of maybe sitting on the floor and sharing from one plate and being,
Yes.
having high, standards for family and meals and it just seems like it's already there. So it needs common sense. But when I hear that there are people who don't do that, it sounds very foreign to me. I don't know why. I mean, I grew up
Uh,
in this nation, but it just seems so foreign that the concept of a family sharing should be commonplace. The concept that the
uh-huh.
woman makes sure that she looks decent for her husband to come home should be
Yeah.
commonplace. That she should be
It should
presentable,
be,
she
but
should
it's
be
not.
soft, she should consider what he's maybe had to been going through the whole day, and
Yes.
that these things seem like they're common sense, but now I don't know why I feel appalled and shocked. I shouldn't, but it just seems like women should already have it done. They should already have that in mind that they're how important their spouses are to them. But being
Yes.
married to two American men, I learned that sometimes it's not just the women, because I had two American men who may have been of the same faith, but they were of different upbringing, and they did not know
Uh-huh.
how to receive a woman who was submissive to them. They had no concept of that because their mothers, broke their backs working, and they never really seen their mothers be in a submissive position towards their fathers. So they didn't know how to accept that in me. They thought that, they would say, I'm not trying to make you a slave, or I don't want anyone thinking that I'm oppressing you. And I'm like, no, this is my role. This is what, and you have your role. I have my role and you have yours.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
that was something that really has shocked me, that there will be men who will not be willing to receive a submissive woman.
It's a pity, isn't it?
You said what?
Do you hear me? It's a pity. It's a shame.
It's a big shame, especially,
I see.
it lends to confusion.
Yeah, because people don't know they don't know what their place is inside the relationship or inside the family, and so you have women who end up wearing the pants, and then you have the man who's end up wearing the skirt or wearing nothing. So, and I too am Muslim, so I understand where you're coming from too. We know how a woman is supposed to conduct herself and all of that. I think here a lot of women, they get so caught up in the stress of running back and forth to and coming home. Sometimes the man doesn't do what he's supposed to do. So again, she ends up being the mother and the father at the same time, and everything gets confused. And I know that there are men who don't know how to receive not just a woman who's taking care of them. They don't know how to receive good treatment, and they don't know how to do it either. They don't know how to give it there because they have seen it. Their mother went through something where she wasn't setting the example. She's working hard, and her main focus is on making sure that they don't get plowed in the street. And so the other things end up being neglected because she's trying to just survive. Just the surviving by itself was hard for her. So by the time her son grows up, he don't know anything about somebody pouring him a nice glass of juice and serving him food. He doesn't know what that is.
And
So
see,
it's very frustrating.
I have 5 sons. So any woman that comes behind
I know you're
me,
doing them well though.
everyone says that they're mannerable. I have women who are constantly asking, "Can you please promise your son to my daughter?" And they're not even old enough to get married. Well, in my opinion, they're not. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm trying though. But their
Well, that's
dads are
good.
involved with them. Their dads make a big difference. My 2 ex-husbands, that makes a
Oh
big
yes,
difference.
I
They
believe that.
yes.
So
I mean, their
that's
dads are
what that was
involved.
my point. That was my point also because when you have children, our children observe the way that we behave. If we have daughters, our daughters are going to see, okay, this is the way you're supposed to take care of your husband. And then if you have a son, the son knows what his responsibilities are and what he's supposed to expect. So either we have sons or daughters, it's going to make an impression either way. So the best thing that we can do is set a good example. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes, for whatever reason, you might not feel like it that day, and that's the day the children sitting there making full mental note of everything that you're doing. And God forbid that's the day they pick up the wrong example from the day you didn't feel like cooking, or you didn't feel like greeting when he came in because you were angry about something he said last night, whatever. And then this is what the child decides. Okay, I'm gonna pick up this one. If I don't feel like talking to him, I don't have to talk to him. So, since we have children, we just have to do what we're supposed to do, just for the sake of passing on, the good example. People always talk about, rites of passage. Rites of passages are good, but a lot of stuff that people call rites of passage here in America, in Africa, is just everyday living in the hood, just everyday stuff. You know, it's a rite of passage to do what? To learn how to cook. You don't know how to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just basic things that sometimes gets forgotten about here because people simply don't have time. in the long run, it hurt us good.
Okay.
And I want to mention to everyone that is listening, we are going to be offering a
In Africa, it's just every day living in the hood. It's every
we're
day
going to be
struggle.
offering
There's a
a
rite of
coupon
passage to do what?
for those who are listening to this recording and or who will view the replay of it on YouTube. Um, you can use the coupon code FATI, that's F as in Frank, ATI, on the Nitty Gritty audio recording. And so for the next 48 hours, we are offering 15% off for those who want to go ahead and purchase that recording, because what we will be doing is starting a class, a live video class for those who would like to delve deeper into the topics that are going to be covered or that are covered on the audio recording. And this is going to be through Google Hangout, as we're doing now, and there's limited space. But the audio is a prerequisite because we don't want to spend time reinventing the wheel, so to speak, and going back over what was initially spoken of in the actual audio. So we want to be able to listen to the audio, digest the information, and really think about it, try to implement some of these suggestions, and then from there, discuss and share your thoughts, give some feedback on how it's affected your life, and then often you will find by putting into practice many of those the cultural aspects that she speaks of in the audio, that other things will come about, other questions that you may have. But first you have to take the first step, which is to listen and digest and see how you can go about incorporating that in your life. How does it feel? How does that information settle with you? And so again, that's why the audio is absolutely critical and a first prerequisite to registering for the course. And I'm going to be putting up a web page on intensehigh.com that will give more information about the class and how to register for it. So in the meantime, though, I encourage you all to definitely go to intensehigh.com/nitty. That's NITTY dash gritty, GRITTY, and read through the information, and then you can select, to buy the audio from that link. And so if we don't have any more questions or comments, I don't want to keep you all too long. I'm just so thankful for your patience and for joining us today, because there's much, much more to come from Sister Fati. She also has a book that she's working on that we're very excited about also. And I can't speak enough about that book as well. So you are definitely going to be hearing a lot more from Sister Fati through Intense High and Imega Books, my book publishing company. So, Sister, did you have any parting words?
I just want to say, first of all, sorry that you waited for the connection to go through. I do feel that there should be more discourse between African women all over, from where we're from.
Yes.
We have to be able to sit down and discuss. We sit down amongst each other, but talk to enough so that we can see what we understand of each other's experiences.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that because that really is what this is about, is connecting those bonds between the diaspora women, the continental women, the Caribbean, you know, just every one of us who are interested
Yeah.
in our culture and interested in what connects us and in our similarities. And then, you know, being able to sit down together and discuss in a very civil manner our differences, you know, and what we can all work on to come together. Because I know there are a lot of misunderstandings also amongst the various groups
Yeah.
with our people. And that's really important for us to begin to bridge those gaps. And first of all, it has to do with our thinking and our behavior, and then our understanding of one another. So this is the first critical step in doing that, in really bridging those gaps. And so that's another critical mission for, you know, coming together with Sister Fati and all those who are interested.
That's my mission. That's my mission right there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, I want to give
I
thanks.
find I find that okay, go sorry, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I find that African women on the continent are not that conscious, although they have culture. And
Mm,
I find that African American they are very conscious,
mm-hmm.
but they're missing the culture.
Right.
And Caribbean women, I find, are asking what is really home. You know, is home their island or is home Africa or what?
Right.
So I'm just trying to fuse it. You know, the culture and the kind of fuse that together. That's my mission right there.
All right. That's so true. That is very, very true. I'm glad you said that. It really makes us think about that. And I have heard that numerous times, the differences between the women. But, you know, many of us are willing and ready to learn and to discuss and share and grow. And this is definitely, I'm just so thankful to be able to have this. I truly, truly am very thankful um, to have this opportunity to grow and share with you. So does anyone have any other parting words? Otherwise, we will definitely close out. Um, Anyone else?
No, just thank
Thank
you.
you for taking the time out.
Give
Yes,
thanks.
thank you.
So
Give
I have
thanks.
to
Anyone else? Okay. And then I'm getting a little bit of a feedback and a delay, so I don't want to cut anyone off if you're talking. But definitely, I will again send out all of the links to everyone who is on the line, and I will put within the YouTube video below it in the comment section all the links that we need. So give thanks again, everyone, and I want to wish everyone a peaceful, peaceful evening. And again, remember the coupon code FATI, that's FATI, to get your 15% off of the Nitty Gritty audio recording. And we will be in touch very soon. We're going to try to do this again, perhaps right before the class starts, just to get everyone up and ready. What do you think, Sister Fati? That sound
okay.
good?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. And I'm going to close out and have a blessed evening.